The host of ABC's The View briefly talked about taxpayers' dissatisfaction with their tax returns as a result of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Abby Huntsman feels that the anger is due to miscommunication.
With the tax cuts, I think the real problem there was the lack of the communication from the White House.
Yeah.
Similar to what we saw with Obamacare. I mean, you lay out this plan and you don't totally communicate with the American people what they're getting with that plan. I think with the tax cuts, we don't know if people are making more in their earnings, for example, that are different than what maybe they're not getting back in benefits. And so the White House never communicated that. Look, it's going to look different, but that doesn't mean it's going to completely hurt you. And now we're in this place where you get bad headlines because it was just a bad PR rollout.
It almost seemed more than that. It seemed like the American people were lied to.
Well, we'll see. I think every situation that I've heard is different.
Front. She claims it was a miscommunication. And I love how the co-host immediately checked her.
It's almost like the American people were lied to.
I like how she did it too, because she didn't do it real like catty like. She was like,
it was low key, man.
It was low key. It was like, no, it's like, was it really like that? It was like, no, that's not a miscommunication.
No,
that's
because
a straight lie.
If anybody remembers the time preceding the actual passing of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, President Trump was out in front talking to the people about it. And he was saying that this was a middle class tax cut. He said that middle class taxpayers would have a $4,000 tax cut. Now we are in 2019. Everybody looking for that $4,000. Like, where it at? Where's that at?
And right now, Fox is trying to kind of like squash all of this information coming out about like I guess the amount of tax refund that people are getting. Right. Well, they're not trying to squash it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to redirect it.
Yes.
And I saw a Fox segment. I think it was on Fox and Friends, but they invited somebody from the Fox Business Channel over, and I think it was that kind of chunky black dude, Charles Payne. And he was saying that it was people who didn't make the proper adjustments.
Yes.
It was their fault, because that's why they didn't get the same amount of money back, because,
And they're withholdings.
They're withholdings. They didn't adjust their withholdings. So first we have Abby Huntsman saying that it was just a communication failure. And then we have, Charles Payne on Fox saying that it was people's fault for not adjusting their withholding. They're really trying to spin this because they know it's a bunch of bullshit.
It is a bunch of bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? So
again, it was communicated exactly how the administration wanted it communicated. They wanted to communicate to people that this was going to be more beneficial to the everyday American, more so than the richest among us. Now that we have all the details and we're past a year into this now, we see that it's more beneficial to the richest among us, which we all expected, except for the Trump supporters that actually believed this lie.
It's weird because Abby Huntsman bills herself as someone who channels the voice of a Trump supporter, but is not a Trump supporter herself.
Right.
But if she was really actually doing that, and she was channeling the voice of a Trump supporter, she would not kind of offer some sort of deflection. She would not offer some sort of justification right here. She would actually channel, I guess, the pain of a Trump supporter, and express her disappointment as to why this the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was sold in that way, and call it what it is, a lie. But see, she has to play her role as the moderate conservative on the show.
On The View.
On The View. Now, she did the same thing, kind of the same thing on Fox, because everything is so right-leaning. So she played that moderate conservative, and it worked there. I'm not sure it's going to work here, though, because what's going to happen is she's going to get checked, just like she did in this segment, over and over again.
Yeah, because you're parroting a lie. You're parroting a lie and expecting viewers to say, oh, yeah, you know what? The administration could have communicated that more effectively. That's the problem here. That's why people are so upset. No, people are so upset because the Trump administration lied. It's as simple as that. And I've said before, I don't feel any sympathy for the people that were cheering along with Trump and the administration and all these Republicans that were lying to them. I feel no sympathy for them. But I do feel sympathy for everybody else, because everybody has to feel this as well. So of course, everybody's situation is not the same. So there are some of us that will get more back in a tax refund, but there are others who won't. There are others that they are going to be penalized by this.
Do you know how much the upper brackets got?
Oh my goodness.
The upper brackets, almost $200,000. Almost $200,000. So you tell me, who did this Tax Cut and Jobs Act benefit?
President Trump said that he was going to be hurting because of it.
He was going to be
it's a bad deal for me. Bad deal for me. For you, middle class? Oh yeah, good deal for you. Bad. I'm getting killed on this deal.
You know what? Now that you mentioned that, because you're talking about his elitism and his wealth. And now it makes more sense that Abby Huntsman would kind of offer cover to this tax bill too, because she has a pedigree of privilege herself. She is the daughter of John Huntsman. I think he's the current ambassador to China.
Yep.
And he was a former ambassador to, no, he's the ambassador to Russia, I think.
To Russia?
To Russia.
Okay.
I forgot. I think it's Russia. I think he was ambassador to China under Obama. It's just that he's worked under like 5 different administrations, like both Bushes, Obama, Trump, and somebody else, Reagan. He worked under Reagan too. And he also inherited a multi-billion-dollar corporation too. So by default, she inherits that as well.
So she's making out like a bandit.
She's
as well.
making out like a bandit. So it makes sense that she would kind of have this position.
Whether or not you do receive a benefit, you file your taxes and you're getting back more, or if you just take a look at the whole year and you ended up paying less taxes, whatever the case, you were lied to, okay? Because you were supposed to make out much better than people at the top. That was a lie. You were supposed to get a $4,000 tax cut for the middle class. That was a lie. So you were lied to. No matter what the bottom line is, you were lied to by this president.